Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast. No Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini with Jason Aponte. I have been thinking about this intro all day, and Jason, this is the best I came up with. I've been waiting since early January for Saturday morning or Sunday morning. I messed it up. I was so excited to sing the song that we love, and I messed it up. Jason, I think my mic is not plugged in. What a fire way to start this podcast. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I have my microphone plugged in. And now I sound better. There it is. That intro didn't count, so I get to sing the song again.
Go one more time.
I've been waiting since early January for this Sunday morning, or in Jason's case, Sunday afternoon. This is the Sprint Ride Option Podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini. Jason Aponte to my right. We are part of the Blue Wire Hustle Network. And Jason, we made it. Week 1 has started. There's a football game on my TV that means something to the standings, because I guess the preseason games mean something to a lot of people on NFL rosters. This game means something towards the season. How are you doing today, though? That's the important question.
I'm great. I hope I don't seem distracted or anything like that. If I do, it's because when something happens in this game, I'm either going to say, yes, I have that player, but because I'm in so many leagues, that player is against me in another league. It's kind of the pitfall of having 62 fantasy football leagues that you're in.
62.
Yeah, I got up to 62 this year, including best ball, including underdog fantasy, which is great too. You should go on there and do a bunch of best ball drafts on there. But yes.
62?
Mm-hmm.
You're almost to like Barry Bonds' 2001 home run total.
I'm glad that we're talking baseball because I got a chance real quick, for our intro, and we'll get to the football. I was at the stadium yesterday on Derek Jeter induction day. The team lost. What an electric moment at the ballpark for them to play the speech, play
No, Jason froze. We are having all the luck today. My microphone decided not to work. Jason is frozen now. So how cool is that? What a start to our season. Hey, it's still technically the Niners haven't played yet, so it is still preseason for us. So that's what I'm using. You want to talk about Derek Jeter again real quick? Oh no, he's just smiling. Look at that smile. So I'm just going to jump right into it. There he is. Oh, he's frozen again. He's back. I don't know what's happening. That's okay. Jason is in 2P high definition. That's okay. 2P. That's just what it is. Jason, I'm happy you got to go to that game because as somebody who likes to make fun of you for liking Derek Jeter as much as you do, I'm happy you got to go to the game the day he is inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm happy you enjoyed it, other than the Yankees losing.
I think, the Yankees losing, that's fine. But I think that, when I talk to people about Derek Jeter, and this is just me being completely, serious, like, I don't think that anybody, including myself, would ever tell you that Derek Jeter is the best of all time or anything like that in any way. There's been plenty of more talented players. He just means a lot to us because, again, kid from New Jersey, dreamed of being a New York Yankee. That's all he ever wanted to do. Was the quintessential Yankee, and as soon as he showed up, they started winning championships. Before they started buying them, a lot of it was homegrown, and he's a big part of that. And when he broke into the league in 1996, I was 12 years old, and he instantly became my favorite player on opening day when he made an over-the-shoulder catch in the outfield and hit a home run in his first game. I was like, okay, this kid is about it, and the rest is history from there.
Derek Jeter, good Yankee. Did he now? Here's my question: Did he earn his
pinstripes? I think he kind of earned his pinstripes in year one, like right away, like kind of. So I love that.
That's my favorite question to ask Yankee fans, because apparently that's a big thing. I don't know if I'm just making that up. Jason, enough baseball talk. The Yankees, they won what, 11 in a row, and now they're 2-10 since
13,
whatever it is.
13 in a row, and they were 2-8 since. The only thing that is more roller coastery up and down than the New York Yankees is my personal life at this point. Like, I promise you, like, that's the only thing that right now is.
I thought you were going to go solid transition to the 49ers, and I was going to be like, nope. Man, that's smooth. We're there.
Nope.
But now awkward transition. The 49ers, they play a football game on Sunday. That means something. So we are here. This is our
Where's Don Burr?
Where's Don Burr? I need Don Burr. I have a conspiracy theory, and if Don Burr is here, I will share what my theory is.
Okay.
So hopefully Don Burr joins us at some point. He is my favorite Lions fan, and my cousin's a Lions fan. So I'm Don
Nice.
Burr. You're higher than my cousin. So yeah, we're here, week one. We said that this episode was going to be on Friday. This episode is actually today because we have another episode planned for tomorrow that we'll talk about here later in the future at the end of the episode. Jaylene, yes, we are watching the game. I have it on behind me. But the 49ers,
I'm watching it. The punters are duking it out right now. So I'm
Bradley
having
Pinion,
a blast.
49er legend.
Pinion and Anger. So anytime that there's a punter named Anger or anybody comes out to punt, I have Anger. I like it. I'm trying to find a way to tweet that so we can make it like that. But yeah, punters are ruling this game so far.
You know, and CeeDee Lamb and Chris Godwin. I have them on my fantasy name. So yeah, we're here to preview 49ers Lions week one. And if you're a Lions fan who found yourself on this, listening to this podcast or watching the live stream, I'm just going to say it real quick. We don't know your favorite team as well as you guys know your favorite team. You might not know Talanoa Hufanga. We don't know your Talanoa Hufanga. So if there's like a player we're missing, don't yell at us. We're not Lions fans. We are here to cover the 49ers side of the game. NBC.
It's on NBC, yes.
The game is currently on NBC. But yeah, so Lions fans, if you're listening to this, we apologize if we don't know everything. Jason, I want to start with just talking about the Lions because they're coming off of a off season, just like the Niners are. So kind of give people an idea of where the Detroit Lions stand before the week one game. I think that's a fair place to start. The original meme of this podcast, Matt Patricia, there we go, was fired. They bring in Dan Campbell to be their head coach. And before I dive in on Dan Campbell, The Athletic actually wrote an article about Dan Campbell by Nick Baumgardner and Chris Burke. Wanted to shout that out because that changed some opinions on Dan Campbell, because I was reading that article and I changed the if you read that article and change the name Dan Campbell to Jim Harbaugh, a lot of it would feel the same. So I kind of like Dan Campbell. If the Lions get 53 guys that buy into what he is, they might be good in 3 or 4 years. So that's fine. The big move they made, obviously, different quarterback than the Niners have seen. Actually, same quarterback the Niners have seen, just a different uniform. They make the big trade. They trade Matthew Stafford. They bring in Jared Goff. They also bring in a guy who is very excited not to be on the same team as Jared Goff anymore, who now is Michael Brockers. Those are the two big trades. They lost a few guys. They lose Marvin Jones. They lose Kenny Golladay. They lose Jamal Agnew. They lose Gerard Davis. They lose Christian Jones. I looked up their big free agent signings in an article from June, and the two names I saw was Tyrell Williams, who is likely Jared Goff's number one target. And the other name that I saw was Brashard Perriman. And then I looked it up, and he was actually released. So he's not even on the team. So in case you're wondering what kind of offseason they had, there you go. The draft, they bring in Penei Sewell with their first round pick. Their second round pick is Levi Onwazurike. Onwazurike. There we go. I made sure to get that right. They bring in Aleem McNeil, and a name I liked, who's probably going to be the receiver number 2, is Amon-Ra St. Brown out of USC. In case you're wondering how much they lost on the offensive side of the ball, their passing yard leader, Matt Stafford, he plays for the Rams. Their rushing yard leader from last year, Adrian Peterson, free agent. The receiving yard leader, Marvin Jones, he's down in Jacksonville. So none of them there. None of their leaders. They have Jamal Williams running back. They also have DeAndre Swift, but he was hurt through the preseason. They're going to tease him in. So you expect to see a lot of Jamal Williams this weekend. TJ Hawkinson, probably their best offensive threat. Their defense, not good. Third most passing yards allowed per game last year. 5th most rushing yards allowed per game as Jason leaves me. I think he's fixing his Wi-Fi really quick. The Lions allowed the 5th most rushing yards per game last season, the 3rd fewest interceptions, and the 6th fewest sacks. So overall, just not a great team. There's your quick Detroit Lions roundup, Jason. I don't know. Now you guys know what to expect from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I really do. For anybody that's watching, can you see us? Because all I see is 2 green screens right now. I have no idea what's going on right now.
I see us. I see you. Right. I see me. Pokemon.
Okay. So I'll keep going then. So yeah, I mean, look, when we talk about this, we always want to be objective and we always want to make sure that we're never downplaying any team or anything like that. But let's just face facts. This is a roster that is barren in many ways. And this is my issue with having Dan Campbell become the coach of a team that has such a large overhaul. And especially a team like the Lions who continue to year after year be in a rebuilding mode. It seems like this is my concern with them. You know, Dan Campbell, I make a lot of jokes and things like that, but I just don't believe that he is the guy to take this team in the direction that they need to go. A lot of people like that rah-rah stuff. I just like X's and O's, and I feel like I want a guy who's smart, not just a guy who is going to say, yeah, we're going to hit you in the mouth and then hit you in the mouth again. Like, oh, okay, bro. Like, we get it, man. Everybody does that in football. You're not instilling anything that's a little bit different than any other people. But as far as what happens right now with this team against the 49ers should win this game and pretty handily. But at the same time, there's a history and a pattern of Kyle Shanahan, not only as the 49ers coach, as the coach of other teams, starting slowly in week one. And shout out to Vish, friend of the pod. You know, I put something out there where I put the first 4 weeks for the 49ers, and they have 3 losses and 1 win, but they were not sharp in any of those games, including the win. And that's what people really don't understand is you can win a game and not be sharp if the other team is less sharp than you are, like the Tampa Bay Bucks, who threw 2 pick sixes in that game. Then you win the game, right? There's games where you're sharp sometimes and you lose games. Yeah. So for me, that's not about the opponent. It's not about the opponent. It's about, are you prepared? And it doesn't matter, you know, you can be sharp and lose. You can be not sharp and win. It's kind of just how the game goes. So for somebody who's an offensive genius, right, you know, that we know that Kyle Shanahan is, for some reason, all of his teams they start slow. Even when he had the best offense, shout out to Vish, and he pointed this out, even when he had the best offense with Atlanta, week 1, they struggled. So while I think the 49ers are going to win this game because there's no way they can lose it unless they just play literally the worst game ever, I don't think that this game is a big a laugher as people are making it seem to be. The 49ers could totally win this game by a score of like 28-17, and it'll feel closer than that. So, I mean, I'm just going to err on the side of caution and just say, don't underestimate, you know, a team, even though everything is right there in front of you for why they won't be successful or why they won't, really compete. It's just the nature of the game. And then week 1 is the most unpredictable week in the league, you know, and there's so many crazy things that happen. So I have the 49ers winning this game, but I don't want people downplaying. I don't want people overreacting is really what it is. Overreacting to maybe a closer game than they're expecting. A win's a win at the end of the day. But at the same time, don't be surprised if this game is a little bit more ugly than you believe it will be.
Yeah, and legally speaking, I have to say it, the game in which there was 2 pick sixes, that was pre-LASIK Jameis Winston, so throw that out the window. That doesn't count.
That does not count.
That doesn't count. We don't slander Jameis Winston on this podcast.
Right.
But yeah, I absolutely agree with your point because you look at last year. I mean, let's look at last year. The 24-20 loss to the Cardinals. The Niners came out very sloppy. They came out actually very hot. If I remember correctly, like the second play was a Raheem Mostert 75-yard touchdown pass or run, one of the two, I forget. But then the block punt happened, and all of a sudden, like momentum swung, and the Cardinals kind of kept it. But the thing is the Niners stayed in that game. The Niners absolutely stayed in that game, and if Jimmy Garoppolo hits a throw to Trent Taylor, there we go. Trent Taylor on a 4th down conversion that I think was there. They might win that game. Who knows? But they definitely come out sloppy. You mentioned the Buccaneers game. Yeah, the defense won them that game. Now, the question is, though, Jason, I'm just going to counter this point. I think the Lions, and you already answered it, so I don't even know why I'm asking it, is I think the Lions are probably the worst week 1 team the 49ers have faced. This Lions team isn't going to be very good, let's be honest. No matter how many kneecaps Dan Campbell gets his team to bite, whatever it may be. Do you think that might change it, even if the Niners come out and play their worst game? Is this just like, can we write in Sharpie? Like, I have a schedule at my desk at work. Can I write in Sharpie tomorrow with W? Like yes. Even if the Niners come out and play their worst game?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what that was kind of my point when I talked about being sharp, right? Like being sharp in my mind doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win or lose the game. what I want to see is preparation, and I want to see it out of the gate, right? Like, there was no preseason last year, so maybe that's what you can, say, hey, this is what happened. But it's a historical thing. For some reason, the team comes out that is coached by Kyle Shanahan. They come out sluggish, and they can still literally play a game where you could say, man, they didn't really play well, but win the game. And I point to that Tampa game because I was in Tampa. Jimmy Garoppolo threw a pick six. They had like 4 touchdowns called back on penalties.
I remember that,
It was just an ugly game. I mean, they wound up winning, but I didn't walk out of that game. I'm not going to lie, with my, my 49er colored goggles. I didn't walk out of that game saying, man, what a dominant performance. Here they go. I said, oh, well, they won. Good job. They should have won, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, like they really took it to the Bucs. No, the Bucs just played less sharp.
Yeah, and I could see this being a case of a reverse of 2020 because you mentioned don't overreact to week 1 because Kyle Shanahan starts slow, and it's kind of set up like last year where if they start slow, they're going to have a very good bounce back bounce back opportunity. They got the Eagles week 2, which the Eagles are probably going to be one of the, on the lower half of the NFL this year, if we're being 1,000% honest. But I could see this being a case of reverse 2020 where the Niners come out hot their first 2 games. Because I mean, you look at the teams they're playing, look at week 2 and week 3 last year. They played the Jets and the Giants. They won 31-13, 36-9. Week 3 might be the sluggish game because that's the first real team. They got the Green Bay Packers at home, which home opener probably changes things a little bit there. But it could be a very easily a reverse 2020 where they look good the first 2 weeks just because of who they're playing. And then they get the real team because like week 1 last year, the Cardinals were supposed to be pretty good. And they ended up being a pretty decent team. It's just the Niners came out very sluggish week 1.
Yeah. And again, the 49ers can win both of these games without playing their best. And I think that's everybody's point about starting Trey Lance is because it gives you a soft landing and it's not, right away. But week 3 is going to be the test. Like if they come out slow week 1 and 2, they can still win those games because of coaching and because of their roster. But week 3, you better have it in gear because the Packers are not here to play around. And I don't want to hear about dominating them in 2019. I don't want to hear about that. That's not what's happening right now. That's not the team that's on the field right now.
Nope.
That is not the vibes that are going on right now. Like, I know that everybody keeps pointing to that. Sorry that I always have to be the wet blanket when it comes to this, but just understand good football teams. Understand this 3rd year, Aaron Rodgers. They took it to the 49ers, even though they were really barren last year with all the COVID-19 the stuff, but that's the game they really need to be ready for. And I don't want to overlook the Lions, Philly, but the point still stands. The 49ers can play iffy in both these games and win. If it's closer than you'd like it to be, that's one thing, but they can still win the game, which at the end of the day, all that matters. You don't get style points for blowing a team out 40-7. You just have to have more points than they do when the clock hits 0.
Well, Jason, this is our podcast. We're allowed to overlook the Lions and the Eagles because it's a podcast. We don't have any skins in this game. But right. like I don't think we're wrong in saying that the Niners roster talent should be good enough compared to the Lions, compared to the Eagles, to no problem beat them, even if the Niners come out with a C+ game. I don't think that's a bad thing to say at all. I want to look at some individual matchups in this game because I think there's a few interesting ones. And the first one I want to focus on, we don't know what side Penei Sewell's playing yet. I know they're starting left tackle. His name is out of my brain right now. He's questionable for this game. So they're not sure which side Penei Sewell is going to play on. It doesn't get any easier depending on what side he's on, because if he plays right tackle, he's going to be dealing with Eric Armstead, who's pretty damn good, and Dee Ford on maybe 20% of the snaps, who is also very damn good. And then if he plays the left tackle, he's going to have to deal with Nick Bosa, who is safe to say pretty damn good as well. So that I think that's going to be the one matchup I think is going to be very interesting to watch, because the Lions spent a very high draft pick on Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell was my personal favorite draft pick or a player available in the 2021 draft. And this is not going to be an easy test for him, no matter what side of the ball he plays on.
Yeah, and I think, I forget who we were talking about it with, moving him, and then he didn't play last year, moving him to another side. He didn't play last year. That stuff all contributes. So
Yeah.
again, that doesn't mean that Penei Sewell is going to be a bad football player. It just seems that right now he's adjusting and he's going to have a problem, with either of these guys. And it's weird. You hear pitch count and you hear no, they won't be on pitch counts. But I think, I think that no matter what, when D Ford is like, super right, everybody thinks everything's good. He'll only be in on passing downs anyway. This depth on this offensive line, bringing in Ebukam, having other guys who can fill in those roles. Obvious passing downs, you'll see D Ford, in my opinion. But yeah, Penei Sewell's got his work cut out for him. And if Taylor Decker is not there, then literally the only strength to this team, which was their offensive line, because it is pretty damn good when everybody's upright and everybody's playing well, is literally not that anymore. And the 49ers have to figure out a way to attack that. And I feel like DeMeco Ryans obviously has been giving all the signs, especially when I was at camp and I was getting a chance to look at the installs, giving us all the signs in press conferences as well about being more aggressive and just and blitzing more. So they're going to put pressure on the kid. It's not an easy test for him right away, but I feel like this is going to be the game plan going forward for any offensive line. Now you're talking about having Taylor Decker not there possibly for this game. It only gets a little bit more hairy when it comes to the Lions when they have to try to protect Jared Goff, who struggles when you're in his face, as many quarterbacks do, but he really, really struggles when there's pressure in his face.
Yeah, and if I'm a Lions fan, like I'm a little excited to see what Sewell can do because I know he had a very rough preseason. It wasn't great. People seem to think that we live in this, football is like Madden, where if you just sign the best left tackle, you can move him to right tackle and no problem, we're good. But it's a significant, it's a different side. Like plain and simple, it's a different side. He's having to learn a lot of different things on top of relearning a position. He's learning a new offense. So it's going to be tough for him, but I'm a little excited because if he isn't ready for week 1, he's going to learn. He like getting this chance against the Niners the Niners defensive line. I think it can only make Sewell better. Even if he has a bad game, he's going to see what the best, the Niners probably have the best pass rush in the NFL. I don't think that's a stretch. If I'm forgetting a team, I apologize. I don't mean
the team that's on your TV right now probably has a better pass rush.
Oh, okay. Buccaneers. I don't think you're talking about the Cowboys because Cowboys defense is.
No, I'm not talking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys have the best nothing.
But he's facing a top tier defensive line, so he's going to learn. He's going to see what the best has to offer, and hypothetically, unless they play the Buccaneers week 2, which I don't know the Lions schedule off the top of my head, as I'm looking it up. He's only going to get better. They play the Packers week 2. Oh, that's the Monday night.
That's
game.
Bad. So Darius and Preston.
That's the Monday night game. But my point more so being is he's going to learn. He's going to have to learn this game. If he doesn't, the Niners are going to eat him up. And even if he does, the Niners are probably going to eat him up because they're just that good. I'm not too worried about the Niners defensive line. I'm just curious to see how Penei Sewell reacts in his first game in a new position if they choose to put him on the right side.
Yeah, and we're going to find out pretty quickly. I mean, this offense, which is going to be run by Anthony Lynn, former Chargers coach. It's a lot more spread. They're trying to get Jared Goff into his comfort zone and what he ran in Cal. I just don't think they have the personnel to run it. Hawkinson is really good. Tyrell Williams is a solid player who I feel like has been buried on depth charts, and he's been a lot better because he was behind Keenan Allen. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is really, really good as well, too. So I think that they're trying to get him into a comfort zone. They're doing everything that they can. Problem is I don't think they have the personnel or the X's and O's mind to make it work. Anthony Lynn was a running back coach before he became a head coach. So I think that he's going to be geared to trying to get the ball to Swift, depending if he plays because of, rumors and things like that are floating out about him. Apparently he's fine health-wise and, will be fine. Jamal Williams is somebody that's going to be involved a lot. My problem with, with Anthony Lynn and with a lot of coaches in the league, not just him, is the archaic way that offenses are run. And I don't always embrace the new because Cliff Kingsbury tried to bring the new into the league, and it doesn't work when you're not a good play caller. But at the same time, when you this tried and trusted way of running offenses without, any sort of creativity or anything that is really not groundbreaking, but new, right? Like you're trying new things out. I feel like it's easy to figure out. The 49ers defense should have no problem really stopping it. Even if Emmanuel Mosley doesn't play in this game, their wide receivers don't put the pressure on the secondary that would cause you to be worried if, let's say, Demo starts across from Jason Verrett or Josh Norman even starts, newly signed Josh Norman. So it could be, a few things that go on there, but honestly, with this team, again, the more that we're talking through it, the more the 49ers should win this game. I just don't think they win it in the fashion that people are believing. But, these are all things that I'm concerned about with them. Like, if I was a Lions fan, I would be concerned with the head coach just spouting off, spouting off cliche after cliche, and then bringing in people who, even last year, right? Justin Herbert had the best rookie year that a quarterback's ever had passing yards wise. And that offense still was limited with Anthony Lynn running the show over there too. So I get worried about that. But hey, good for the 49ers. I think that's why the whole they don't have to start Trey Lance right away thing is there, because Jimmy Garoppolo will be fine in this game. And we know that he can move the offense. It's just, again, do they come out and struggle? And what do they struggle with? Like, does Jimmy Garoppolo come out and hit people in the feet with passes, or overthrow people, or throw picks to the underneath linebacker? Those are things that'll make the game a lot closer, and that's the stuff that I'm talking about. I'm not talking necessarily him. I'm just talking about the team overall. It would be really good, and I think it would comfort a lot of 49er fans if they just came out and just punched this team in the mouth and kind of put this game away very early. I just don't know if that's what's going to happen.
I like it when you accidentally segue into like what I'm going to say next, because that was my second matchup I'm very interested in. Jimmy Garoppolo against the Lions defense. Jason, you like the term revenge game. And yes, Jimmy Garoppolo has never played for the Detroit Lions, and I don't think he will. However, this is a little bit of a Jimmy Garoppolo revenge game, because this is his first chance to show, hey, I'm healthy. And yeah, I know who's behind me. I understand that this is the guy replacing me. This is my chance to shine. As I said, the Detroit Lions allowed the third most passing yards allowed per game, 285 yards per game last year. He's going to get a chance to throw. They had the third fewest interceptions, 7. Their secondary is not great. They're relying on Jeff Okudah to be their number one defensive back. He only played, I believe, 9 games last year.
Yep.
So he's kind of a big question mark. He's going to get time. They had 24 sacks last year. That's the 6th fewest in the NFL. This defense was pretty bad last year. It might be worse this year. And Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get a chance to shine, because I don't know how much Trey Lance is going to play. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play a ton. I know he was throwing the ball in practice the other day, according to some tweets that I saw. I wasn't told anything. I just saw tweets. And, he's going to get a chance to play. Trey Lance might not be 100%, so why are we going to rush him? Why would Kyle Shanahan rush him? Why would anybody want to rush him out there? So I really think this is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo's game to play. And he's going to get that chance to shine against a very bad defense. And if he goes out and balls out, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, of course, it's the Lions defense he's playing. But if he struggles, we're going to hear that same noise. So Jimmy Garoppolo, go out there. Give me 250, 275 yards. Give me 2 touchdowns. Give me no throws. I want to come back Monday and not talk about no throws, because you get one. You mentioned it against the Buccaneers. His pick six against the Buccaneers. That was one of his classic no throws, and that's what I called him. I know I'm saying no throws a lot, but that's what I called him.
And you see it happening though. You're just like, oh no, and then
exactly. He throws it to the dude he doesn't think. I think he had one against the Cardinals last year. In week 1 as well, where he just threw it and it was just right into the hands of the Cardinals linebacker. So he
didn't see the underneath linebacker. I think with that Bucks play, and the only reason I remember it so well was in the stands, there's a 49ers fan who's yelling, pick on this guy, whoever it was, I think that had the interception. He didn't even wind up like, no, not Sean. It was because this is 2019, remember? So he wasn't Sean Murphy-Bunting wasn't on the team. It was somebody who is not even on the team. And he's like, yeah, go with him. And it was Tevin Coleman who was split out wide. And he threw it, and it was a pick 6, and the entire crowd turned on this guy. And I just looked at him, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, you got to be quiet, bro. Like, you gotta keep that to yourself. Like, don't start calling people out, because that's what's going to happen. But, yeah, it's, again, a matchup that you see on the outside with a corner and a running back, and you decide that that's the throw to the sideline when, listen, let's face it, Jimmy Garoppolo's arm to the sideline, that's not his strength. And like you said, no throws. So you're just like, man, what was that? But he can have one of those with it being a drop pick and not being an interception. He'll have 1 or 2 of those where you're just like, God, why didn't you see that? But it depends if they convert it. And if they don't, then it's fine. No spilled milk, anything like that. But he seems to have those. And again, I've kind of laid out that it's not just Jimmy Garoppolo. It's any sort of team that Kyle Shanahan coaches. They struggle. week 1. So that's going to be my narrative that I'm going to be running with this week. I expect this game to be a win for the Lions, for the Niners.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. A win over the Lions, but I don't expect it to be the drubbing that people have it as.
Vernon Hargraves the third is who we.
There you go. And he was cut later in the year.
But actually, he was traded, or was he cut? I don't know. He was on Houston later that year. Traded, cut, whatever. Yeah, man. But here's my thing. You mentioned the no throw that's dropped. I don't even want one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to see something different from Jimmy Garoppolo, and we got a little bit of it in the preseason with hey, he's kind of mobile now. Like he can kind of move. He's not perfect. He's not going to be a rushing quarterback. Like no, he's not that. But he looked mobile in the pocket in the preseason. He had a couple of decent runs. He looked pretty good in the pocket. That is an improvement. I want to see the improvement in the balls he chooses to throw. I know he has a ton of confidence. I know he does. And that's, I think, what leads. I mean, obviously, some of the no throws are him just not seeing the underneath linebacker, or that's the cornerback sneaking behind the receiver. But some of his no throws are just him being confident in what he saw and what he thinks he can do. I don't even want a dropped interception. I want to see Jimmy Garoppolo have a clean game. And that's what I think he's going to need, not just against the Lions, not just against the Eagles, not just against the Packers. He's going to need it if he wants to keep, because this is his starting job to lose. Let's be honest. And if he plays average, the Niners could be 5-0, him playing average, because I think their team is that good, because that's what they did in 2019. And granted, he was above average in 2019. Like, don't get that twisted. But if he plays average and the Niners are 5-0, Kyle Shanahan's going to look and be like, I can get average play out of Trey Lance, but have a little more upside to it. So Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to be flawless, and this is the perfect team for him to show that, hey, I'm ready to take that next step.
And another thing, Jimmy Garoppolo is not just fighting to be the starting quarterback on this team. He's fighting for his title of starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. And
because obviously he, whether people want to admit it or not, this is it. This is his last year. This is it. Let's ride. So I think that he needs to have that in his mind, because being a starting quarterback, no matter where you fall, 1 through 32, is very valuable. Yeah. And Jimmy Garoppolo needs to understand that, and he needs to seize this moment right now. And if you want to build confidence, what better teams week 1 and week 2 to do this with going into week 3 than these two games? I agree with you. I don't want to see the same things, because here's my conspiracy theory. One, I think that Kyle Shanahan knows that if he takes his time with Trey, it just resets his clock. Meaning, if he starts week 1, then all the pressure's on, right? Like, you have to make it work. But there's a soft landing for Jimmy Garoppolo these first 2 weeks, for him to get his feet wet again, get him playing well, and get his confidence up. So I think that kind of made the decision a little bit easier for him to keep Trey Lance on the bench. You and I have said since the day of the trade up, literally, that we knew that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be the starter. Mm-hmm. No problem with that. None at all. No. But I think the schedule has a little bit to do with it as well.
Yeah.
For instance, if the 49ers started week 1 against Seattle, then Green Bay at home, and then week 3, like, against the Colts. Let's just say those are the first 3 games, because sometimes that happens. Those are 3 tough games against teams that are going to be playoff teams. Mm-hmm. So does your thought process change in terms of who am I starting? Who gives me more upside? I think that Jimmy Garoppolo, we're not downplaying him in any way, but he operates this offense with a certain level of efficiency that will be able to take down the Lions, take down the Eagles, long as he doesn't have these bad interceptions that turn into points for the other team, because the 49ers should be able to run the ball 40 times at 7 a clip, no matter who, Sermon, Mostert, any of them. They should be able to put this game away just based off that. Yeah. But if you're Kyle Shanahan, how much are you trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo moving and in rhythm and get him feeling good? That's going to be my question going forward.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's a world, as I said, where like it works kind of nice for the Niners, because they have 5 games and then they have a bye week. And so it almost feels like the trying out period for Garoppolo, because if he's playing average through 5 weeks, you have a week of just free practice before you go into a Sunday night game against the Colts. And that is the perfect time to fit in a new quarterback. Let's just be honest. That's not even a Niners thing. Is any team, all 32 teams, if you're looking at a new quarterback, look at your bye week, because then you get 2 weeks to prep him. So we'll see what happens. Jimmy Garoppolo has two easy defenses, and then he's going to have to go against the Packers and the Seahawks, two pretty good defenses. And then the Cardinals, which, we'll see what they are in week
Divisional
5.
games are what they know, but the divisional games are always going to be tough. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like honestly, what their defense are. Like the 49ers have always struggled, and that's because of number one, who's their quarterback,
and number 3, who's the Seahawks quarterback. So yeah, I mean, let's see what Jimmy Garoppolo is. Let's hope for more positives than negatives, and see how he rolls. My third and final key matchup, really to watch, is the head coach spot. I think this is such a curious one because you got Kyle Shanahan, and it sounds funny. It sounds funny, right? It sounds funny, right? But this is a game because we've been mentioning the Niners coming out sluggish. Week 1. This is a game where Kyle Shanahan needs to have his team ready to go because the difference between him and Dan Campbell is the same difference between the Buccaneers and the Texans right now. Is we're talking about one of the top tier head coaches in the NFL going against, first year head coach. So automatically just put him at near the bottom. It is what it is. That's not even anything against Dan Campbell. It could be insert blank first year head coach here. The Eagles head coach, same sort of deal. First year head coach. He's going to be near the bottom. It just is what it is. This is a game where Kyle Shanahan needs to have the Niners ready to go. I know we're warning everybody about them starting off very sluggish. I think there's a lot of problems if they start off very sluggish against a team that has a head coach who's having his first career game and a head coach an offensive coordinator who had Justin Herbert and made it seem like they were an average offense. So it sounds funny, but I think this is a really interesting matchup to watch. I think it's there.
Yeah, and again, if you're talking about like, hey, what do you want to prove, right? And again, we have this long list of openers where Kyle Shanahan's teams come out and they kind of underwhelm, whether they win or thing. Right. This is the softest landing. Like Dan Campbell's not an X's and O's guy. He's not going to give you. It's literally like a beautiful mind against like the town meathead. Literally,
yes.
Like I'm not even trying to be like a jerk, but it's like literally the guy who is great at chess and the guy who's like the wrestling champ. If you can't really scheme this up, and it's an game, it's not that it's concerning. I'll just be disappointed because I expect more and I expect better.
Yeah, this isn't a case of if the Niners lose to the Lions, like, Shanahan's on the hot seat. And I know some people on Twitter will make it be that because there's definitely a very loud minority of Shanahan isn't the guy. And they'll make it seem that way. No, I'm not trying to put Kyle Shanahan's job on the line. This isn't a must-win game by any. It's week 1 of the NFL season. Like nobody has a must-win. Nobody has a must-win. But this is the Niners need to win. And I would feel a lot more comfortable if this is a Niners blowout than if it's the Niners kind of struggled through. And yeah, they won 28-17, but it was 21-17 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the Niners scored a touchdown late to make the game a 2-score game. So like, I don't want that.
Right. And that's what happened in the Bucs game. That Bucs game was tight the entire game. And a last minute Akilla Weatherspoon pick 6 kind of put that game out of reach. But that game was that score was not indicative of how close that game was in 2019. It was much closer, and there was a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, and the team just was like trying to get their feet wet. Now, also there is an argument to be made that Richie James was a starter, Marquise Goodwin was still the starter, Deebo Samuel hadn't come along yet, so they didn't exactly have their weapons, things like that. That's cool. I'm with you on that, But at the same time, it's not that I'm discounting the opponent because, like I said, you can play sharp and lose a game. You can be sharp and win a game. And for me, win-loss doesn't indicate that you were sharp. Yeah. And what I was looking at is just how's this offense operating? And I realized that the Bucs have a really good defense in 2019, but it's just been a pattern, right? So 2017, let's throw it out the window because it's who starts? Brian Hoyer. 2018 is the Minnesota game, and Minnesota was really good, but that team wasn't sharp. George Kittle dropped the pass. Garoppolo threw one of those pick 6s in that game. He also made his best pass probably as a 49er, that touchdown pass to Dante Pettis, and it wasn't enough. He threw another interception at the end of the game. 2019, they win, but we explain details in the context of that. In 2020, after they started off so well at a block, it's like the game went to hell after that. So again, I just there's ways to explain. In 2020, there's ways to explain, right? Because there was no preseason, nothing like that, right? But this is a team that's coming off a Super Bowl run. So people expect you to just be able to just get right back in there. But you can use that as an excuse. That's fine. 2019, nobody knew what to really expect. They won the game, but the score wasn't as close. The score didn't indicate how close that game was.
Yes.
And then 2018, the team overall, everybody really didn't play well in that game. Alfred Morris was the starter. Fred Warner made a great play when he was wearing 48 on a fumble. I remember that clearly. The defense wasn't bad in that game, but the offense failed to uplift and maybe they didn't have the pieces to get it done. But either way, you could point further back to Kyle Shanahan's tenure with other teams. And, like Vish pointed out, the Atlanta Falcons had the best offense in the league. They went to the Super Bowl that year. They struggled in week one. In week one. And it's just, again, I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe Kyle's working through some things. But like you said, Andrew, I would love for this game to be like at halftime, like one of those games where we're just like, okay, this is it. Like it's all they have to do is just finish this off.
Yeah, and Jason, I got good news because my prediction for this game is gonna comfort you a little bit. But before we get to the prediction, I do have a question, Jason Aponte.
Okay.
Do you like playing with balls? I'm not talking about footballs. I mean your balls. Our friends at Manscaped, the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming, want you to shave your pubes with the Tom Brady of ball trimmers, the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. Only the GOAT technology for the greatest balls of all time. When you're going towards the end zone, make sure to use the right tools for the job and choose Manscaped. 2 million men worldwide trust them. So join the movement with our exclusive offer by using the code SPRINTRIGHT at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. The world is starting to open, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help you get ready. Inside, you'll find their brand new Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, weed whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver ball deodorant, crop reviver toner, plus 2 free gifts, the performance boxer briefs, and the shed travel bag. And the boxer briefs, oh my goodness, Jason.
Oh man,
I have never felt more comfortable in. I'm not even a briefs guy. I'm a boxers guy. And these boxer briefs, the best. The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is the perfect package for your package and a key for a great grooming and hygiene routine to make sure your crotch doesn't look like Troy Polamalu. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 is here to take your defense to the next level. This 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock and gives you the ability to turn on the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. We've already said it. That is our favorite feature on the Lawnmower 4.0. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Even the Super Bowl's winning coach can enjoy a nice trim during the celebratory water bath. This package also comes with a weed whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in both your nose and ear. The weed whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, that's a tough word, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. After trimming your pubes, show them some love with the Manscaped liquid formulations. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner are the key to feeling victorious and taking home the Super Bowl this year. Again, you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPRINTRIGHT at manscaped.com. Manscaped also threw in 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPRINTRIGHT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. And use the code SPRINTRIGHT. Take your ball defense to the promised land with Manscaped. Jason, I'm going to calm you down a little bit with my prediction. No,
before you do your prediction, we're watching a football game where literally 2 of my biggest points are literally being proven right now.
Yes.
Back-to-back plays for the Bucs have turned into turnovers. They look slow starting, but you can't overreact, right? Back-to-back right now. It's 14-13. The Bucs haven't been exactly sharp, and the Cowboys are hanging around, right? The Bucs may win this game, and it may be close, but that doesn't mean the sky's falling. Also, Greg Zuerlein, missing kicks. Cut every kicker and go for it on fourth down. I'm tired of this. What are we doing? Embrace the future. Stop playing football in 1981. No one cares about kickers. They don't matter. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys have missed out on 4 points because of a kicker. They probably missed out on more because they didn't go for it on fourth down. Yeah. I just want to take a quick victory lap in week 1. I'm telling you not to overreact. I'm going to overreact to all these things. Zuerlein's back out there. If he doesn't make this kick, they better run him out of that. All right, he made it. Lucky.
He made it.
He made it. Okay.
He made it.
Lucky.
Okay, we're good.
Real lucky. But
we're good.
At the same time, let's go. Can we embrace the future? Can we stop messing around with this thing that does not matter? I'm sorry. It just does not matter. I'm sorry.
And while we're at it, get me a designated hitter in the National League. Oh, is that a different? Oh, that's a different podcast. My bad. That's my bad. Jason, can I calm you down a little bit?
You got it.
40-17. Boom. Actually, 42. Let's make it 6 even touchdowns. The Niners, listen, you tried to scare me. You almost did it by saying Kyle Shanahan offenses come out slow. I get that. I understand that. I listen to the Sprint Right Option podcast. I know that, Jason Aponte. I'm not afraid. Listen. As I said, I read that.
There
Don
he is.
Burr's here. There's my guy.
Is.
Don Burr.
Do your prediction again.
Don Burr. I know who you are. You are Dan Campbell. Don Burr is the burner account for Dan Campbell. You can't tell me otherwise. And Dan Campbell, I'm going to say something nice. I bought in. After that Athletic article I read, I am bought in. Give you a couple years, you get the right 53 guys in Detroit, you're going to be the 2011 49ers. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen this year because there's a lot of question marks on that team. But if you get 53 guys who play Dan Campbell football, I think Dan Campbell's going to be a very good head coach. Kyle Shanahan is that much better. Give me 42-17. I will agree with your 17 points. I will take 42 points for the San Francisco 49ers. They're gonna poop pump them. I don't cuss. No, I'm going to cuss. They're going to shit pump them. That's just what it is.
Geez.
That's just what it is. 42-17. Nothing against the Lions. I just think the 49ers are that much better.
So I will, again, I am going to scale back mine. And I have the 49ers win 28-17, but I think that it happens on a late touchdown that makes that score like that. You know what? Matter of fact, I don't even know if they score 17 points. I'm just trying to hedge real quick and stay on there. But I think the 49ers win. I just don't think that it's going to be this massive blowout. And I think that the Lions are going to give the 49ers a game that they didn't expect. So, Don Burr, I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything like that, but I've got to go with what I know. Better coach, better roster. Maybe better quarterback. That's a discussion for another day. We can,
Jason, you can't drop that this late in the podcast.
I can. That's a discussion for a whole other day. We can have
when the Niners meet the Lions in the NFC Championship game.
Year,
we can have that conversation.
Well, just a real quick point about that is everybody points to Antonio Brown touchdown. Everybody points to wins, losses. Yeah. Jared Goff has a ton of wins. Why is he not regarded in the same way? But anyway, that's fine. Yes. And a lot of people give Sean McVay all that credit, right? And all those things too. And it's funny, whatever. We can get down this rabbit hole a whole other day. But yes, 28-17, Don Burr. I'm sorry. And I hope you pull up for the review. Again, it's been a blast having you on all of our streams. And we all love you as 49er content creators because, you have a lot of energy. And yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Don Burr, can you do me real, this is 100% genuine. I'm not even memeing right now. Can you drop your Twitter handle? Because I 1,000% want to follow you. I want you to be the guy who updates me on the Lions on my timeline. I know the Andrew Pasquini Twitter follow isn't exactly as prestigious as, a Jason Aponte Twitter follow, but I want Don Burr to be the guy who gives me my Lion updates on my Twitter timeline because I try and follow a little bit of everybody. So I have my hand in the basket with other teams. But Don Burr, I'm going to miss you. So hopefully you're here tomorrow when we come back. Yeah, dude. Yeah. honestly, if the Lions win, we will come with the same energy because Jason and I, while we are fans of the 49ers, um,
I mean,
he's
look, all right. So, but Don, all right. So, look, Don. Yes, we're 49er fans for
yes.
sure. But I will tell you this: crossing over into the medium portion, Don. I hate to say this, but my fandom is kind of waning, and I mean it in this way: if the 49ers go out there and get blown out 48-0, we still have to come here and face the
Mhm.
camera, and we have to be objective. So I I don't care as much.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, I'm going to have to do content. Whatever happens, I'm gonna have to get in front of this camera and talk. So,
Can I plug an episode?
yeah.
Go back to last year and listen to our post Dolphins episode. Go listen to our post Eagles episode because the Niners had their share of disappointing losses last year. We came here with the same energy and we're going to talk about it. So yeah, hey man, if the Lions win, we'll be here and hopefully you'll be here as well. And I hope
Yeah.
you're here for the rest of the season. Because
Yeah.
if the Lions win, I want you here for the next 16 weeks to say, hey, the Niners might have finished 16-1, but who was the one? So hey, and Michael, if Don's trolling, that's a-okay.
He's doing a great job.
I've enjoyed him. I have like
Yeah,
this isn't
me
even
too.
this is even sarcasm. I have enjoyed him because even if it's fake energy, he's given some energy and he's hyping up the Lions best he can. So Jason, you were 28-17. I was 42-17. I think 17 is just our number we pick, our arbitrary number we pick. Any last thoughts before we get out of here?
No, this is amazing. I'm happy. I really am.
Yeah,
I'm so happy to be talking week one previews. It's so good, and if our page and our podcast has been a little bit slow, it's not going to happen like that anymore. We have another episode coming tomorrow. This is it. We're in. And that's it. So, I mean, I'm just excited. I can't believe that this is happening again. I can't believe that it's happened so quickly. I can't believe that we're back to game preview reviews. And I couldn't be more excited to see what's going to happen with this team because not only is it our focus because we're 49er content creators, I think the league is kind of focused on the 49ers, and it's an exciting time because of what's happening with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. People are going to be glued to what happens. Here's the only thing that I get worried about, and this is going to happen all year, and I will say this every single game that Jimmy Garoppolo starts. For every time that he makes one of those no throws or overthrows a receiver or underthrows a receiver, the noise around Trey Lance only gets louder, and that's what's going to be really, really interesting to see how it plays out. So I'm excited to cover all of this. I'm excited to be in the thick of it. I'm excited to be part of this, and I'm so happy that this is our second year of doing this, Andrew, and I couldn't have found anybody better than you to do this with.
We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
Oh,
I don't even know what day it is, to be honest, but I know we were post week 1. That's when this beautiful thing started. And we're gonna get to see each other. Jason and I will be. Am I allowed to reveal our location? Like, I'm assuming it's something that'll get tweeted out, right?
No, I mean, listen, me and Andrew will be on location in Santa Clara for for our podcast of week 3. So it's an exciting time.
So we will be Jason will be in Santa Clara for the game. I will not be at the Niner Packer game, but I will be there at the 25th, and I'm sure we'll be wandering the mean streets of
San Jose.
Santa Clara, Jason.
Okay.
And so if you guys see us, just remember, all you gotta do is ask me to take the photo of you and Jason. Just ask me to take the photo of you and Jason. I get it. I won't be offended. I get it.
Get out of here. Get out of here. No one's asking me for any pictures. That's such an overblown narrative. I reject the narrative that I've all of a sudden become this person like that. Sin, I am actually going to be in Philly.
Yes.
I will be out there for John Chapman's road trip. I will be out there. The Saturday meetup and then the Sunday tailgate. So I will be there, Sin, and I hope to see you there. I would love to meet you because you've been a faithful supporter of both of us since the beginning. And you're literally one of our favorite people that always finds their way into the dreams as well, too, Sin. And you have that legendary moment on Clubhouse that no one will ever forget also. So
she dunked on Vish so hard.
She dunked on Vish. Yeah, get his ass. Get that smart guy.
Hey Don, if you don't want to reveal your Twitter on the thing, just follow me on Twitter. I'll give you a follow. I know you don't do Twitter much, but I would appreciate it. And I would love to follow you. Jason, tomorrow we will be back. We will confirm the time. We have the Denim Dungeon Boys. We're going to do a season preview, not just a game preview.
And we'll see them
the
in
season
as well.
We will see them in Santa Clara as well. We will be here tomorrow. Tim and Brian will join us. Tim is the best quarterback coach you haven't heard of. And you've heard of him on the podcast, but you don't know how good he is at quarterback coaching. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. We're going to do season previews. I'm going to get wild with some predictions. Get ready. One of them is definitely the Niners are breaking the all-time rushing yard record. That's my tease.
That's a preview.
That's my tease. So yeah, that's going to be it. I was going to say the next time we talk to you, the Niners are going to have a gameplay, but I literally just said we have a podcast tomorrow. So the next time we talk, it'll be tomorrow. But then the time after that, the Niners will have a gameplay. That'll be Monday. Jason Aponte, before I say, as always, I just want to remind the kids, Zero Mieto, not a George Kittle thing. Watch wrestling, kids. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners, and the Yankees stink.
Let's go Niners, and the Giants are still